Well, I'm gonna go down south. I'm gonna take my time. Like those old.
Hello, I have kind of a crazy announcement, which is that I just released an EP. I know, I'm surprised too. For all you Zoomers out there, an EP is a 4-song musical record, and it's weird because I am a visual artist, and I've never done anything like this before. Back in the summer, I fell in with a weird crew of malcontents and ne'er-do-wells that play music in a basement downtown, and that's too long of a story for me to get into right now, but one of them is the pastor at a local Methodist church here in Asheville that has been doing amazing work in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. And I was sitting around in the dark after the storm with nothing to do, but I had an acoustic guitar and a battery-powered field recorder, so I thought I'd make a record. I recorded it in my office in an afternoon, and I put it on Bandcamp, and I'm going to give all the proceeds to this church that's doing such awesome work. And I guess it's an acousticy, finger-picky, country rock kind of... I have no idea what I'm doing. But whatever it is, it's available on my Bandcamp page, which I didn't have until now, and I'm going to put a music video on YouTube. Through the end of the year, all proceeds from this go straight to the Oakley United Methodist Church here in Asheville. Thanks.
I had a friend that drove too fast and he drank till he got his fill. Had a super sporting overbrew, rough on gas, but that's okay because it's all downhill. He played that 8-track front and back, and then he rewound. He said, "Brother, I've seen."
You are watching the first Gribbly's Folly Sunday Antisocial Hour in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene here in Asheville, North Carolina. Ground zero. That's where we are, and it feels weird. This is weird, but I'm glad to be with you. I'm glad to be with you. This is the time each week when I smoke my pipe and complain about humanity while answering all of its questions. If you are a piece of humanity with a question for me, leave it in the comments down below with the hashtag AskGribs. I'll answer any question. Any question you could ever possibly imagine, you will get an answer for me. Can't comment on the accuracy of these answers. That's above my pay grade, but you will get an answer. You just saw the promo reel for, what have I done? I know, I never thought this was, I am very nervous about this. I can't sing or play guitar. I'm not good at these things. But I don't know how to finish that sentence. There is no justification for what I've done. So you guys know already that I own guitars. I'm not going to call myself a musician, but I own guitars, right? And it is true that I am a writer. But I don't know how to write a song. I have written songs. I don't know how to write a song. I ended up at this open mic night in a basement bar downtown this summer, and y'all know that I used to work in a music store, and that you can imagine how people that work in a music store feel about the average musician that might go and play at an open mic night. It is unspeakably difficult for me to sit through an open mic night. And yet, everyone that played at this particular open mic night was actually really good. Like, I was sitting there thinking, here I'm gonna watch a bunch of dudes live out their broken teenage dreams. And then by the end of the night, I was like, I'm a dude, why am I not living out my broken teenage dream? And so the next week I went back, and everybody was still good. There was this older boomer dude that got up with his, his shiny Taylor guitar, and he was like, I'm gonna sing a song about squirrels. And I was just like, oh my God, like, really? He was wearing a fedora and everything. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna sing about squirrels. And I was like, okay, and I'm like getting my keys together, like getting ready to leave, and then he sang a song about squirrels, and it was amazing. And that's consistently been my experience at this place, and the guy that runs it has like curated a community of people that are genuine, and that don't have a lot of ego attached to what's going on. And my experience playing music in this town a long time ago there was none of that. So over the course of some weeks and months, I played a little music, and I sang a few of my songs from way back in the day, and now I have a record? Now is a good time to mention that all of my artistic endeavors are bankrolled by my patrons on Patreon, and they get this record for free. So, and it's a $4 record. That's your barrier to entry. $4 record. But if you sign up for your first month on Patreon, that's only $3. So you save 25% on my hit record. I don't know, it's a crazy thing, but go check it out if you're interested. We have a lot to talk about. There's not any Ask Gribbs questions because I think everyone thought I was dead. I'm smoking Old Limey Bastard in my Rossi Poker, which continues to be just the delight of my pipe rack. It's really, really pleased with this purchase. I have so much to tell you, and none of it's very happy. And everybody here is like, we're all in the stage where we're starting to process what's happened. And like when you see somebody you haven't seen since the storm, there's this period of like, before you can talk about whatever you're doing, like there's this period of having to sort of externally process everything. And there's a lot of survivor's guilt that gets in the way of these conversations. Like you see somebody and you know, hey, how did you do? You know, did you make it? And obviously they've made it, but did they, you know, the first thing you worry about is did you lose somebody? And then did you lose your house? Did you lose your pet? Did you lose your car? Are you going to be financially ruined? Those kinds of things. And I mean, I'll be honest with you, I probably am going to be financially ruined, but that's, you know, I'm a self-employed artist. Like, that doesn't really mean that much. But like everybody in the wedding and photography industry around here, like we're all scrolling through each other's Instagram feeds and we're like, oh yeah, those are good shots. Hey, have you got any business for the rest of the year? No, me neither. Okay, all right, see you later. So it's like, in a lot of ways, it's like this little local COVID thing in terms of like, we're a hospitality town. Like everybody's in F&B or P, photography, taking pictures of the F's and the B's. Like, we're all just here to serve people that come here to have a good time. And no one's coming here because no one's having a good time. But we'll worry about that probably at the end of the month when we have to pay bills. But we'll worry about that later. I think, you know, the fact that people are starting to process the financial end of things is progress. Like, we're no longer have to process, like, am I going to die? Like, am I going to live through this? And I was very lucky that I had fewer of those questions than a lot of people had. And but it's still just so big that I don't know what to say about it. Like that. Yeah, we made out fine. Like we're okay. But to see your whole town and all the towns around it and the town where you grew up, like to see those places devastated beyond understanding. Like I still can't understand what happened in these places. And so to see that, there's stuff there that I don't even know how to articulate. But Helene questions are fair game for Ask Gribbs. If you have questions about what's going on here, and we'll talk a little bit about some things, some aspects of that, go ahead and ask. Like, that's fine. I know people want to hear stuff, but I don't really know what to say. I will say though that the former president came to town this week, and he got himself a nice little photo op in front of a bunch of destroyed homes, and he received an award from our congressman for learning how to work the fryolator at McDonald's, as if Donald Trump has ever done an honest day's work in his entire joyless fucking miserable life. And then he spread a bunch of lies about FEMA not helping when he was across the street from a FEMA relief station. That's not the way to win voters in this town, sir. That was not that. Watching one of the scariest parts of this for me has been watching people that I actually know in places where I actually live spread conspiracy theories about things that are clearly not happening. That's been really hard. Like, if you've seen the video of the helicopter trying to land and like it sort of rotor washes the relief station, And this was spread as like FEMA's bringing in unmarked helicopters to harass the people that are actually trying to help. That was the Roses parking lot in my hometown. And those people were morons. Like, that wasn't an official relief station. That was just where people like went and dropped off a bunch of supplies because they didn't want to drop it off at the fire department where you were supposed to drop it. I don't know the specifics. It wasn't an official relief station. And the helicopter pilots got confused and tried to land there, and then they were like, oh, this isn't the right place. And then they took off again, and yes, there was rotor wash, and it blew some things over. It was not an attack from FEMA. It was the National Guard. It was a National Guard chopper. And so then I get on my hometown like Facebook group, and like I'm looking at people commenting about how, well, it would even the score if we shot it down with our deer rifles. Dude, you're talking about murdering American servicemen on American soil. So that's scary. Like that's a Springfield pet-eating Haitian refugee level disinformation campaign. Like it is unconscionable that people could turn on the National Guard like that when they're literally flying in relief choppers. I don't understand. I mean, I do understand. They're fucking fascists. That's what I understand. Like, I get that. I get it. They're cruel, mean, and dumb people. I understand that intellectually because it's happened before in history and I've read about it. But when you see it happen in your hometown, right in front of your eyes, it's a different thing. Like this is not a survival novel. This is not some prepper fantasy. It's actually happening, and people are actually getting hurt. And in Carter County, Tennessee, a bunch of folks on ATVs, surrounded some FEMA workers. They were armed. They surrounded some FEMA workers, and there were reports reported by the National Guard that in my home county there were armed men in trucks who said they were going FEMA hunting, and so FEMA had to pull out. FEMA had to pull out of some of these places because their lives were in danger. There was a guy in Rutherfordton that was arrested for going armed to the terror of the public because he was menacing FEMA workers with a rifle. And the best part is like the Trumpers online that want to try to comment and tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about, like that I'm a liberal stooge for like trusting FEMA. And I'm like, dude, like I'm here. Like the boots are the boots are in the mud. I have mud on my fishing boots that came from the living room of my friend's house because he asked me to come photograph what was left for his insurance company so he could prove to them that like, yeah, I used to have a house here and now everything is gone. Like all of my belongings are gone. Like I'm here, I'm seeing this. Don't gaslight me. Like I said, not too many happy topics this time, sorry. Not taking a shower sucks. That's not cool. Speaking of prepper and survival fiction, even something like My Side of the Mountain, which we all know is what my channel is named after. Where you get there's like survival adventure. You're in some situation, and then it's happened in Hatchet too, by Gary Paulson, kid's book about surviving in the woods. But any survival fiction. There's like this trope where after a while you've made it through the harrowing stuff, and after a while you realize that, gosh, life is better without all the modern stuff, and it's simpler, and we get back to what matters. That's not true. That's not true. Running water is awesome. I'm gonna quit putting you through it. We don't have to talk anymore. I'm just trauma dumping. I appreciate everything y'all do, and all of your concern and your prayers and your good vibes. Ask me some questions and give me more to talk about. Give me something to think about other than all this stuff. I appreciate it. I want to do a video on prepping takeaways from this storm because it surprised me what worked and what didn't. Not that I'm a big prepper, but I've kind of been prepper adjacent at times in my life, and I think we were better prepped than most. But there were some things that really caught me off guard, like buckets. I have a stack of buckets here. If you go buy buckets. You just need some bucket. Don't buy the Yeti bucket. That's the dumbest. All right. Okay. Hang on. Okay. Yeah. This will be good. This will be funny. Yeti load-out bucket. The load-out bucket. $40, 5-gallon bucket. $40. What? This is a Home Depot bucket. It was $4. It's a 5-gallon. What more? Look, you can put 5 gallons in this 5-gallon bucket. Is there another metric by which to measure a bucket? Why? What is wrong with people? And then I'm reading the reviews and it's like, well, you can't make like the Yeti bucket is stronger and you can't make a toilet out of the Home Depot bucket. What the fuck are you doing pooping in a bucket? In what situation? There is no situation. Unless you are trapped in an elevator with your Yeti load-out bucket, you should not be pooping in a bucket. There are way better. Why don't people understand? I've seen this on the Asheville subreddit. Everyone's like, hey, the water's back. I can quit, pooping in a bag and putting it in the trash can. What? No, dude, the toilet flushes. You just have to take a bucket of water and pour it in the bowl. Do people not know this? This should be required in school. You pour water in the bowl of the toilet and it flushes. No one should be pooping in a bag. There needs to be, this is what I'm gonna do. Gribb's Rules of the Woods just got an extra chapter, like how to survive a hurricane. Number 1, don't drive through floodwaters. Number 2, while the wind is still blowing, keep your ass in the house. Don't go out with your stay in the house until the storm is over. That's rule number 2. Number 3, don't poop in a bucket. Don't do that. People lived for 100,000 years pooping without running water. Did they poop in buckets? No. The only people that pooped in buckets were kings and queens, like royalty that had servants to take the buckets away. They called them chamber pots. Do you live in a chamber? We'll do more of this. There will be more. Thank you for watching, and for everything else, keep the ends out for the ties that bind.